We're at the Boatyard hauling out. The broad miner's over there. Gonna do some service work. Gotta put a new lower unit on. Had about 2,300 hours on it. One of them went out. Been working on a trim motor too, get the trim going. They replaced a seal last time, but it was more than a seal apparently because it only lasted 2 days. But these guys here on Dirty Boat, they're getting some work done. They're changing out props. Once they're done and moved, then we'll get picked up on the sling. And we got Claire with us today, so she came by. She spent the day with Daddy. We'll kind of show you along the way here. It's part of owning a boat, you know. There's always maintenance to be done. And Mike fished yesterday. Got a big swordfish, 300-pounder with his group of guys, and that was pretty exciting to see when they came in. Bottom's not too bad, but they're gonna pressure wash anyhow, just knock all the slime off, get a fresh coat on it. That fresh paint will get us through the bottom, through the summertime for a few months. So the barrier coat's the gray paint, you know, the gray, that's like primer, and then the black is the bottom paint, but you can see where it just rubs off here on the hull. But overall, still in pretty good shape. What do you think, Claire? Big boat? Big? You wanna paint it? Oh yeah. Got some straight lines for most of it, but there's a little wobbly stuff here, so not perfect, but it's what it is. You don't see that part too often. You can see where the paint's kind of rubbing off here, so you can see the gray showing through it. And just very thin, so we'll just get another coat on that and get us through. What is it, late April, so that gets through the summertime. You know, definitely next. Really, it lasts about a year. So the boat's over a year and a half old now, probably 20 months, I would say. So July will be 2 years. Late July will be 2 years. You probably hit these anyhow, the scoops and all that, right? Oh yeah, it's covered up there. It stopped raining. Time to go change the gear lube. Got a new grease gun here. Got some gear lube there. Some tools. We'll see you back at the Boatyard. So the boat's out. They got it blocked. We got to do a couple things of service. We got to fix the trim on this motor. It's been stuck down. They replaced the seal on it a few weeks ago, but it just didn't last, so maybe more than just the one seal, obviously. But we're doing the bottom paint now. All the gray is the primer here, so they're touching that up, and they're taping the inside now. You can see that. So he's got a tape line going. They're gonna roll this whole boat bottom. Hopefully this afternoon. If they don't finish today, they can do it tomorrow morning. And then we gotta replace this lower unit here. You know, they're mechanical failures. There was almost 2,300 hours on it, so we did get our time and money out of it, and just there was a little bit of metal in it last time, so they pulled it off and said the gears were shot. So they could either rebuild it, get a new one, and this one they said, you know, let's get a new one on there. So they're doing that. So Caribbe's gonna come put that on, hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow morning. And they're gonna work on that trim. And then the rest of the boat here is already taped. So they got this masking tape on here for the paint line. They're gonna paint all the bottom paint on here from Interlux. And they got the primer on some spots. And that'll get us, you know, usually we get about a year out of the bottom paint. And it's been close to a year since we painted it, maybe more, I don't even remember. But you can see, so this will look all nice and fresh. It'll help reduce the growth on it, so the boat will be faster, more fuel efficient, and I think the boat's gonna go up for sale later this summer, so it'll be in good shape for that. That's one of the steps in the hull here. So these hulls have 2 steps in them, you know, and that helps with the performance and whatnot. So there's 2 steps on each side there. He's taped on the inside. Show you a little bit of that, and hopefully they start rolling some paint so we can show you that. If not, you know, you'll see just the before shots and the after shots. This is the primer up here, and you can see that's where it was kind of gone earlier, especially up here on the white. So I'll do that here. How's it going?
How's it going?
Good.
It's going.
I bet. At least you're not in the rain right now, right?
Right.
You see, on the inside of the boat, you can hide from the rain. Some boats can't do that, though.
Yep.
So he's doing the tape line. And they're making good progress, so I think, hopefully they're going to roll paint this afternoon, because it's 1 o'clock now, and they usually work about 3 here, so they got 2 hours. And even if he doesn't finish the whole thing, I'm sure he'll get half of it done. But let's go drain the gear lube out, and we're going to service the motors anyhow since it's out. So the first step is to get the screens off. We got 2 sets of screens to remove. I guess it's over on this side here. And these are, the water pickup here, and they help cool the motor down when you're running, all that stuff. So you never want to lose the parts and pieces. I've done that before. You put something down, you can't find it again. So get that off there. Get this off here. And then we'll grease that bolt again there. You can see there's a little bit of blaster left on it. But we'll grease that again when we put it back together. Just so it comes off, nice and easy. Now we gotta do this other screen here as well. And on these newer 300s the last couple years, you got your drain bolt down there, screw, and then up top here you got the other top one, which you gotta open up to vent it to let the air pass through so the fluid comes out of it. We'll just show you on one of these, and we don't gotta show you all of them. We'll get that piece out there like that. Put these up here. You don't want to lose your parts and pieces. And we'll pull this. This is the magnetic screw. So this that other one last time we saw the metal on it, and that's how we knew it had an issue. We're gonna pull this off here. And then and that's normal there. You can see there's a tiny little bit. That's just wear and tear, and there's over 100 hours on it. And that oil actually looks super clean. So that's a good sign. And once I take up this top bolt here, that oil will come out of there. The gear lube will come out super quick and easy, and then you'll see it all. And if there was water in here, you have to replace your seals or do something like that. That oil there looks brand new, that gear lube, and that's what we like to see. There's 100 hours on it, right close to, might be 90, but we're hauling out anyhow, so we're gonna do it. Because every time you haul the boat out here, it costs like $697 to haul the boat out for one day. And I think we're gonna be here an extra day, so it'll probably be like closer to $800 plus fuel. So about $900 to come here for 2 days. The Yamaha work is warranty work. Then I'm paying them to paint the bottom. We'll see what that bill comes out to. I supplied the paint, but they charge pressure wash plus putting the paint on. But there's a lot of cost associated with owning a boat that people don't take into consideration, and maintenance is one of them. Also, if you have a boat and you buy it for a long time, you're only going to get so much life out of certain things like your motors and your engines. You may only get, say you get 3,000-4,000 hours out of them. If you're doing 15 hours a year, you're talking 3, 4, 5 years. You're going to have to buy all new motors, so that cost always has to be put into the equation when you buy a boat, and if you're going to charter, try to make a living with it. So we're going to drain this out. We're going to pump fresh gear lube in here, and hopefully we'll get to show you him painting some of the bottom there. All this oil looks really good. This one, it might be a little tricky because we gotta get the motor pushed a little more vertical if we can. But it is really, that looks brand new. So 2,300 hours on it, super clean. We just put another 100 hours on it, and nice that it's running so good and clean. You don't want to see water in there, you don't want to see a ton of metal. So that one's still dripping. We're just gonna give it 1 or 2 more minutes to try to get all of it out of there. And we could have put more hours on that. At least another 50 hours. It would have been fine. And I'm not a mechanic by any means, but I know enough to keep them running and do the basic maintenance myself, which helps save some money there. But if you don't know, just use a certified dealer, especially for warranty work and all that stuff, and they'll take care of you. But the stuff we can do ourselves, basic oil changes, maintenance, spark plugs, fix little things on the boat, we always try to do it ourselves. Got more primer there or no?
Yeah, it's barrier coat.
Yeah, so he's doing more barrier coat there, you guys. That's like the primer. And then for the bottom paint we're going to use, it's just here from Interlux. It's SPC, so Micron 66 used to be the big one that we all used. I think they did away with that one now. This is the one that's kind of taken over. We put it on the water damage back in February, my old 37 Freeman, and now we're putting it on the broad-minded here. So this is to change the gear lube. We're gonna have to prime the pump here. Got to pressurize it, and we're gonna screw it in the bottom bolt hole there. And then we'll start pumping off fresh gear lube in here and be good to go for another 100 hours. Some fresh Yamaha lube in it. So that goes in there like that. Kind of screw it in. You get it nice and snug. Then we'll open up this valve, maybe about half speed. Let's see which way it goes. Back, nope, forward. There we go, like that. And when this fills up, the oil will start coming out of here. We'll let a little extra come out, get some air bubbles out of it, just to make sure it's, you know, full of air, full of oil. But I'm actually gonna put the motor vertical, so we kind of want up and down, like it's gonna sit, you know. There we go, just like that. And we'll keep filling up till we see the oil come out of there.
The areas that don't have existing paint, this will prevent the paint from coming off. It's a primer. It keeps the paint attached more efficiently onto a surface that doesn't have prior painting done. There's another one there. Of course, all this area here where the paint is falling off.
Pretty clean now, you know, very little air bubbles, so that's good to go. A little excess run up there. Now, first thing we gotta do is put the bolt back in here. Put a new O-ring on there too. Always want to try to do that if you can. And once we put this in here, we can unscrew the oil change pump there, the gear lube pump, and there won't be able to drain because of the vacuum there. So we'll get that there pretty snug. We'll unscrew this here, and a tiny little bit will probably come out, but not much at all. Then we'll wipe off that other bolt there to get all the little metal shavings off it. And this one had a little bit, you know, of wear and tear there. Small, and ideally there'd be none, but this is not ideal. This is reality. There's usually a little bit on there. And there's 2,300 hours on these sets of motors, you guys. I don't know the exact number, but very close to it. Fresh O-ring there, and then we'll put this bolt in here, and then we'll put the screens back on there. And the new lower unit that we're getting, that'll come with fresh oil in it. And then we'll go finish up these other two, and be good to go for a while. Mike will do the main oil too, probably tomorrow. We take turns there. A lot of times he'll do the main, I'll do the bottom, the lowers, or vice versa. Sometimes I get him to do all of it, but wipe off this little bit of mess here, clean that up. Let's put the screens back on there, and this motor is good to go for a while. We'll pull the prop off too and check it. I don't think there's anything on there, because if there's water in it, you know, that'd usually be a prop seal, you know, with fishing line in it. But we're gonna pull them off anyhow just to double check. I think they're gonna be fine though, because the oil looked perfect, you know, looked brand new, honestly. We are gonna hook this tube of grease up into the new grease gun there to hit the midsections, which I pumped them full last time when we hauled it out, you know, a few weeks ago. And that's one thing that sometimes people forget, you know, that you kind of miss it. But I need your grease things there. You want to hit them up there. You can see a little bit of that grease in there now, because there's a lot of wear and tear and pressure on it. So that's one thing that sticks, you know, keep your grease in there. And NLGI number 2, that's something like National Grease, something there. It's a rating that the grease has, and same thing as Yama Lube here, the blaster, waterproof marine grease, so very good stuff. But I want to put a little bit of grease on these bolts here. So we're gonna put these screens back on there just so they come apart easy. So I'll just dip this in there a little bit like that. When we start threading it through there with that bolt, it'll be good to go, and it just makes your life that much easier. Only takes literally a couple extra seconds to do that, and that'll help us tremendously in the long run. We'll do the top one first. And these pick up water when you're running. It helps cool the motor, so you know it's gonna be facing that way when you're running. It'll pick up the, so we'll put that on here like that. And you don't wanna make it too tight, you know, you just wanna make it snug, because if you go too tight, you can break the plastic there. And you don't want that, because you want the motor getting cooled off when you're running as good as possible. So that's nice and snug. You don't want to strip it, because you keep turning and just strip it, but both sides are flush. Then we gotta do this front piece here, like this. Then we got 2 more to do. They'll be painting the bottom, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon we'll go back in the water. And quick 2-day haul out, but you know, after Mike and those guys got that big swordfish yesterday, 301 pounders, 300.5, and then once it settled, it really went to 301. So a really nice fish. I had fished those guys before the year prior. Caught 2 pompers, like 100 pounder, 125 pounder. They said that was cool, but I just see them get out with Mike and have a good trip. So that's snug there, good to go. Let's keep on moving to the next one. Keep greasing them, and once real quick, so you can see all those air bubbles coming out. We want to get this where there's very few air bubbles coming out. much cleaner there. You know, you don't see the air bubbles, so it's good. You do lose a little bit, you waste a little bit, but I'd rather get all the air out of there as possible and have just fluid, so you know, we want it to last.
I just want to see if they were doing the bottom paint and how dry it was over here, because I'm going to need to get a forklift obviously over here and get this thing up. That's pretty straightforward there.
Yep. Okay, yeah.
To get those indicators back.
Yeah, we get the indicators
back. But I think that and this is probably priority.
Priority, yeah. But if I have to stay an extra day and you could do that, I will. But if we can get it knocked out by tomorrow,
that's up to you. Yeah, we'll see where we get by the end of the day today.
The trick is to get just one even application. Try not to go back over it. As it starts drying, it'll mess it up. So you don't want to touch it too much. Just want to put one even coat. This stuff goes a long way. Supposed to, anyways. Just like that.
You can see he's got the full body suit on. He was just telling us he's been covered in paint before. That paint is very hard to get off. A little bit of safety first and precautionary measures. Mike's painted the bottom was before with no mask on, you know, no suit on there, but watch a professional do it. I mean, this is the way you're supposed to do it. The motor looks sharp there. And also the guys came here with a forklift from Kirby. They're gonna pick up that motor the trim shot on, and we're gonna go show you that too. Got a strap to it, and we'll lift it off this way, they'll put the block on there. We all do, right?
That's what I thought until everybody says, hey, what's up? Tells me I'm weird.
All right. Good thing we didn't try pushing that one up. That would have hurt. Forklift's the way to go. Lift it right up there. And I also got the prop off over here, you guys. I got the cotter pin out here. And we're going to pull this prop off here, and we just want to check, you know, make sure there's no mono or anything in there. So we're going to put a block of wood here, just so the prop catches it there on the top of the lower, and then we can push and break that loose there. Pull that nut off. And then we're going to pull this prop off and check it, and then we'll re-grease it when we put it back on there. So that's up there like that. Unscrew this piece. Pull the prop off. Let's see. Everything looks pretty clean. This back thrust washer here, a lot of times we'll pop that off. Okay, so we pop the thrust washer up there. Look at it. No lines, that's good. We're going to put it back on there. Now we're going to grease the shaft here, just so everything comes on and off easy. Fingers gonna get a little bit dirty there, but grease that up. Prop will come off super easy next time. We'll do this on every one of them there too, but you kind of get the point from here in the picture. There it goes. Piece on there. Get ready with our nut here. And then we'll just need to check every one of these props here. I'm 99% sure they're all going to be fine because the oil is very clean on those other ones, and this oil is a little more worn here, almost like a tad of water in it, but the other ones look brand new. So I got this new 1 1/16 socket from Dixie Aluminum today, which is Sarah's family's hardware store down here in the Keys. And the same thing, we're going to put this block of wood here when we tighten this up. That way we can get it nice and snug. And then we're just going to look at the little cotter holes on there. We want to get it through, so I got to go just a tiny bit tighter. Like that, probably. See if we can get that cotter key back in there, and we'll be good. Let's see. Cotter keys in, good to go. Lucky us. Huh. Wow. Take a few tries, you guys, and we're just going to get a knot in here to help hold it, and we'll be good. Nothing ever goes smooth when the camera's running, as you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm on this side.
Yep.
All right, perfect. 14 millimeter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yamaha 14 millimeter. I'll start tightening that up, and We'll get that bolted on there. We can see the shift shaft go in, so that'll be good. Get the zinc on there. It's all good.
Tilt trim rod.
Yeah.
Trim rod cap and seal.
Yeah.
And I guess they did a cap and seal.
You're correct.
And
Yeah.
this one was fine, and that doesn't not look like it's a problem.
Yeah.
either. And often this will leak. Will start leaking, but
Right.
I mean it could be
lasted
empty and cleaned off.
It
but I don't
lasted
see a
2
drop of
days.
fluid
It
anywhere.
lasted 2
That's
days,
seen.
and then it was
And so it
shot
tries to
again,
run
so.
and then doesn't go.
yeah. It worked 2 days after they replaced it. So
Electrically going. So.
So we're trying to diagnose the trim problem. We replaced the seals and what do you call that? Just it's a rod there? Or?
Trim ram.
Trim
Yeah,
ram.
it's just a rod.
Replaced one there. They cleaned up the other one, but it appears like all the fluid leaked out again. So we're gonna have to diagnose. I think he's gonna put more fluid in it, and we'll see if we can see where it's leaking from and go from there. Got the new grease gun and some of the grease ports blasting away. So we got there. What these ones next? Just push on there. Do you feel it? A Zerk fitting. Good to go. If you look up here, you can see we just pushed the grease out of there. So that's the old stuff. The new stuff going in there, it's full. So these mid sections here on the swivel is what they call this piece in here. You always want to hit those, you know. That's one thing sometimes I neglect, but definitely hit them. You know, all your grease fittings there. Every motor, hit them every time if you can, every 100 hours.
All right, so we're at the outside now.
Cool. What you thinking? You got an idea?
We are on the outside. Yeah.
He's trying to diagnose the trim leak here still, figure all that out, but
Guys,
it's bright and sunny. They're getting close to being done on the bottom paint. It's time for us to go home. We're gonna let the professional work on the trim and get out of his way. We'll see you guys in a little while.
Who did this? Terrible. When you guys get your boat wrapped, always get a camo design, because then you can do stupid stuff like this, and you can't even see it once you back out. Tip of the day.
Looks fine.
Tip of the day.
I almost fell on that too. Time to dump the gear lube. Got new screens gonna put on there and a couple motors. Gear lube going in the oil container over here, and we're gonna wrap up today. And another day here in Almirada in the Florida Keys doing a little bit of boat work. And you know, one thing I think people forget, it's not always fishing. There's a lot more to it. So we'll dump these in here, put away our tools, and get back in the water hopefully tomorrow. They're gonna fix the trim still, they're working on that. I think they diagnosed it sounded like, so hopefully tomorrow they'll get that going and we'll be back out there fishing before you know it. Hope y'all enjoyed that video. Just want everybody to know that there's a lot more than just going fishing on the boat. There's a lot of maintenance, there's wear and tear, there's other things to be done, bottom paint, upkeep, the wrap, all that stuff. Unfortunately, our good luck ran out again. We got the tools out here. One of the props slung a blade on the brand new lower unit. When the blade broke free, it hit the cavitation plate, took a chunk out of it and cracked that. So we're gonna jump in the water, we're gonna pull that lower unit off, take it to a welder, hopefully get it patched and fixed, and see how much time we get out of it. So anyhow, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, especially the end. We just got our board shorts back in stock. So we got blue and gray back in stock here. Super comfortable, lightweight. I think you guys really like them, so go check them out on the store, StanzFishing.com. And that's all we got for you for this video. So coming out here to Bud and Mary's, go fishing, check it out, and we'll see you guys then. We're getting ready to fix the boat.